Hope is great if you're in prison, right? But it doesn't make for a very good marketing strategy. We need more than just hope. We don't want you smoking the hope dope. We want you knowing, not hoping. And that's where systems come in. We talked about that before. We're going to have that be the golden thread woven through everything we talk about today. Systems, save yourself time, energy, money, and stress. And so effective systems for asking for the referrals and getting the referrals, not just from clients, but also from referral partners, and having it done in a way that's elegant, that's smooth, that's got finesse and flow, that's maybe even fun, that's very relational. And you need systems for helping them generate buyers and sellers so that you can bring business versus take business. So you can be the welcome guest versus the annoying pest. So we've got some different strategies for bringing that kind of value. But at the end of the day, you're not going to bring that value unless you understand that's the only master key that's going to unlock the vault with these top dogs, is finding ways to be in the power position where you hold the cookie, where you're in the power position. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Art of Mortgage Marketing podcast. My name is Doran Aldana. I'm here with the one and only Penny Wrightley, and we're going to talk about a very important topic for every mortgage professional who wants to win the game of mortgage marketing. They need to win the game of referral marketing. So today we're going to talk about how to win the referral game. And when you win the referral game, you win the mortgage game. We're going to talk about the top referral sources and how to get them and how to do it the smart way versus the hard way. Now, in case you hadn't noticed, there are two basic options when it comes to getting referrals. One is just leaving it to happenstance. We call that word of mouth, right? Where you just kind of leave it to happenstance. If someone happens to think about you, they happen to refer you, they happen to tell their neighbor or their friend or their family member about you. And obviously, it's wonderful when that happens, but it's not reliable. It's not consistent, right? And it's oftentimes not the best quality either, because you don't have a system for making it the best quality with the most amount of consistency and the most amount of quantity. So it's happenstance. It kind of comes and goes. It trickles in, and it isn't something that you can bank on and rely on. So that's the first way to get referrals. The second way is strategic referral systems, as I like to call them. And this can be with clients. It can be with partners. And it allows you to generate a consistent, steady stream of quality referrals where you're getting not just the quantity, but also the quality, and they're pre-sold on you before they even talk to you. So obviously you want to go for the latter versus the former, because that's going to give you the highest amount of business with the least amount of time, energy, money, and stress, which happens to be by the acronym of system. If you look at the word system, it does indeed play out to that exact meaning. It is save yourself time, energy, money, and stress. System, or systems if you add the S on it. So with that being said, let's dive in. Penny, I'm so excited to dive into this. We got lots of really important information to share. Can't wait to hear the downloads of awesome you're going to be sharing with us today. Tell us a little bit about what would be some common symptoms that a mortgage professional would be facing if they're not winning the referral game, if maybe they need some help up leveling the referral game. What would be some common symptoms that you would see in the life of a loan officer, mortgage broker, mortgage agent that needs to level up when it comes to the referrals?
For sure. Thanks again for having me, Doran. I would say one of the biggest ones that really stands out is just having that really slow and anemic pipeline, that pipeline that you look at and you're going, where are all my leads, right? That one's
right.
Big, stands out. Also, getting just generally crappy leads, right? From partners that are just lackluster, crappy partners. So, not getting good leads. Partnerships that are only sending you steady referrals when the market is good. Right? So if the market has a little bit of a downturn, they're just, it's just cutting right off, right?
Mm-hmm.
One that really stands out too. And then just the income roller coaster, that constant up and down. If you're experiencing that up and down, you need some systems, right? That's a big one.
So yeah, all of that is the cycle of suck, right? Where we're grinding through mud with concrete blocks on our feet. We're not getting the consistent business, this up and down roller coaster ride. We can't plan for the future because we don't know if we're going to have a good month next month. We had a good month this month, but we have no idea what it's going to be like next month or next quarter. And the pipeline is dwindling. It's stagnating. We don't have that consistent growth. So winning the referral game is the opposite of that, right? Consistent growth, predictability, consistency. And we know that it's just going to continue to ramp up and to the right. That's the way we want it to be, right? That's the way every mortgage professional wants it, up and to the right. But easier said than done, as you guys all know. So what's the solution? What's the solution to finally breaking free, breaking through, and winning the referral game? Well, we talked about how not to win, how not to bring the solution. That's just leaving it to happenstance. You just hope someone refers you. You hope they talk you up with their friends or family or their neighbors. And hope is great if you're in prison, right? But it doesn't make for a very good marketing strategy. We need more than just hope. We don't want you smoking the hope dope. We want you knowing, not hoping. And that's where systems come in. We talked about that before. We're going to have that be the golden thread woven through everything we talk about today. Systems, save yourself time, energy, money, and stress. And so effective systems for asking for the referrals and getting the referrals, not just from clients, but also from referral partners, and having it done in a way that's elegant, that's smooth, that's got finesse and flow, that's maybe even fun, that's very relational, that has you being the welcome guest instead of the annoying pest. So that sounds wonderful, Doran and Penny. Sign me up. I'm game. I'm all about it. It sounds wonderful, but I've been trying that for a while, Doran and Penny, and that has not been easy. That has not been an easy code to crack. Well, welcome to the club. That's why we're doing this podcast, so we can help you crack this code and to do it without having to bang your head against the wall, reinventing the wheel. So without further ado, Penny, let's unpack this, shall we? What should we be talking about today? I'm very curious to know what we're going to talk about. I know we got some good stuff to share, but I can't wait to hear what we're about to say next, because I know it's going to be the bomb freaking diggity. So are you ready?
I am. I'm absolutely ready. We've got
buckle up. Let's go. So we're going to talk about 3 strategies today for winning the referral game. Strategy 1 is creating a killer unique value proposition, otherwise known as UVP for short. Thank God for acronyms, saves a lot of syllables, right? UVP, you need a killer unique value proposition that attracts top producing realtor partners. Well, that sounds nice, Doran, but I've tried those top dogs. They won't give me the time of day. They already have a lender. They say thanks, but no thanks. They're the super uber pretty girl at the dance that doesn't dance with anyone else but the studs. I'm not the stud status. So, I don't really qualify. I go for the ones that are maybe, still attractive, but, they're not at that level. Maybe they're doing, 5 deals a year, 8 deals a year versus the 15, 20 plus deals a year. Those ones I find much more approachable, to which I would say, yeah, that's a very common symptom of not having a compelling and unique value proposition. So one thing I want to just say right off the bat on this is that the low producers, if you are working with low producing realtors currently, they tend to be the most and first affected by market downturns versus least and last. So chances are, if you've been hitching your wagon to those mediocre middle, struggle bunny type of part-time realtors over the last 2.5 years, your income has been going like this because they've been dropping like flies. They're back to selling solar, driving Uber, back to 9-to-5 prison. Those guys are getting smoked right now. Meanwhile, the top dogs are taking market share. They're actually getting more of the market and more of the clientele that used to be taken by the part-timers and the struggle bunnies. So the problem that most people have in this space is that when market turns down south and it's harder and harder to get business when it comes to refinance business because rates are up and inventory is low and all the rest, like we've experienced for the last 2.5 years, what happens? Everyone and their dog is chasing after the same realtors. And it tends to be the higher producers because the lower producers are back to 9-to-5 prison. So now you have more competition with less prospects when it comes to potential referral partners. So if you don't have a compelling hook, a compelling unique value proposition, they're not going to give you the time of day if you hadn't noticed by now. So we like to use what we call the cheese and whiskers metaphor to help you understand psychology, the mindset behind these realtors. They're kind of like mice. They love cheese. They hate whiskers. They know whiskers are attached to something and wants to eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's called a cat, right? So we want to give them the cheese, which they love, and we want to remove what they don't like, which is the whiskers. Now, we're going to get to the cheese in a moment. The whiskers are things like, I'd love to learn more about your business. I'd love to see what we can do to help you close more deals. I've got lots of different loan programs, lots of creative alternative loan programs you may not have heard of before. I've got, this whiz bang lead generation program to feed you some leads. Believe it or not, leads aren't necessarily what they're looking for, especially if they're crappy online buyer leads. That's the last thing realtors want nowadays. What they want is listings. Listings is the name of the game. That's always the ultimate cheese. Listings and pre-qualified, pre-sold, hot for what you got, pre-approved buyers. That's the ultimate cheese. So we got to remove the whiskers. We got to bring the cheese. And you need systems for helping them generate buyers and sellers so that you can bring business versus take business. So you can be the welcome guest versus the annoying pest. So we've got some different strategies for bringing that kind of value. But at the end of the day, you're not going to bring that value unless you understand that's the only master key that's going to unlock the vault with these top dogs, is finding ways to be in the power position where you hold the cookie, where you're in the power position. Now, what do you think, Penny? Do you think we should unpack this a little deeper and get into some like micro tactics in terms of how to generate buyers and sellers? Or do you think our audience might just want to figure this stuff out on their own? What do you think?
I think it's a great idea. Let's dive in.
I'm only asking you because I needed permission to take a breath, because that was quite a mouthful I just shared there. So thank you for giving me permission and license to take a breath. I want to give you guys just a few killer ideas to be able to bring buyers and sellers, because I know this is something you already have on your radar that you want to do. And chances are you would have already done it if it was easy. But again, this is not an easy code to crack. So I can appreciate why you're here on this podcast, to get some secret sauce to crack that code. So let me give you a few tips. You want to think about not just generating your own buyers and sellers from your own marketing, but think about how can you help improve the marketing your realtors are already doing. So they're already doing marketing. How can you help them get more juice from the squeeze? So for example, they might be doing open houses, but are they using a guest registry with a QR code as opposed to relying on chicken scratch to decipher and then feed into their CRM somehow when they don't even know what it says because it's just chicken scratch? It's like a bunch of doctors signing in. You can't decipher any of it. It's just, completely indecipherable, incoherent chicken scratch. So you can bring strategies like, hey, let me bring a QR code in where we can now have everybody register, but also have an automated way to follow up with those leads using text message and email. I can help you resurrect your dead leads into hot for what you got buyers. I can help you generate more repeat business, more referral business, more rave reviews. I can help you bring more wow factor to your listing presentations so you can win more of those listing presentations where there's multiple agents fighting after the same deal, the same listing. I can help you not only get more reviews, 5-star reviews on Google, but turn more of those reviews into referrals. You get the idea, right? Helping to expand the pie versus just trying to take your slice of that limited small pie that they're already feeling constrained and strained to try and expand. What if you were that pie expander? That's the name of the game. Keep in mind, just one partner is worth 1, 2, 3 deals a month if they're a top dog versus 1, 2, 3 deals a year if they're in the mediocre middle category. So much more valuable, right? Worth so much more to you. And usually the caliber of the leads are so much better because they have more iron-fisted control over the quality of the transaction because they understand how important it is. So you get the idea, you understand we got to go after the top dogs, but the key here is we need to attract versus chase. Too many of you you're chasing them. You're groveling, you're butt kissing, and you're cold calling without any compelling value proposition. That's doing it the hard way. So a big reason why smart, ambitious, growth-minded mortgage pros hire us is to learn the secret sauce on how to attract the top dogs versus chase. So again, you can be the welcome guest versus the annoying pest. So that's the first strategy for winning the referral game, is to attract the top dogs and having a compelling killer kick-ass value proposition that allows you to do so where you're in the power position, you hold the cookie. So that's the first, but we ain't done. We've just begun. We've got a whole lot more in store, y'all. So buckle up, seats in the upright position. It's go time. We've got a whole lot more here. Penny, what's our second strategy for helping mortgage professionals win the referral game? Because I know you got a whole lot more in store.
Strategy number 2, one of my personal favorites, mining the database. This one goes a long way. So there's some incredible things you can do to mine the gold from your database. So let's talk about this one. Exceeding expectations. So how do we want to do this? We want to do things like surprise gifts. Think about this. How many times have you brought a deal, gotten a deal, and, the deal closes and then that's it. That's the end of it. What if you were to become the person that shocks them by doing things like showing up at the workplace, wow them, balloons, gifts, amazing things like this. Do things like thanking your clients with our magic wand letter, right? Things like this are things that are just going to completely set you apart from the average loan officer, the average mortgage broker, right? These are the types of things where when you are adding in something like a surprise gift or, things like letters and things like this, where you're sending these things out to your clients, you're absolutely going to just knock their socks off, right? And these are things that, typically a lot of loan officers aren't doing these things. They're not doing these things simply because they're just letting the deal close. So you want to be the one that's just completely setting it apart by doing that next step, right? The next thing you want to think about is asking for reviews. So Google reviews go a huge, long way. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love the 5-star Google reviews, asking for them, getting them, receiving them, and then turning them into more referrals. Absolutely amazing. Asking for referrals. That's the next one, right? We always want to be asking for referrals. This is huge. It goes such a long way. When we start asking our clients for referrals, that's how you're going to land your big partners, because you're going to get referrals from your clients. And now you're going to be able to pass those over to your referral partners. And I'm telling you, it's absolute gold when you are able to be sending referrals to your referral partners. There's nothing like handing them a paycheck. Pre-approved buyers, pre-approved sellers, right? It's just amazing, right? And then finally, staying in touch, right? That's the next big one. You got to stay in touch with your clients. Emails, social media, newsletters. Use these tools. These are the tools that are going to create so much more business from your database. Things that, again, if you're not working that database, the magic isn't going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's interesting. I heard a statistic that every single month that our clients and or our prospects don't hear from us, but especially our clients, every month they don't hear from us, there's an absence of contact. You lose 10% of influence in the relationship. So over the span of 10 months, you've pretty much nullified your influence. You're basically a stranger. And if you think about it, like if you have friends or family members that you never hear from, your connection to them diminishes, right? Who do you have the deepest relationship with? Those who you stay in touch with daily, weekly, right? And when we lose touch with friends or family members, it's like we have such an anemic and shallow relationship because there isn't that contact, that consistent frequency of contact. So if you think about it, it's really about relationships. The more we raise the equity in our relationships, the more we're going to raise our revenue. And that equity requires cultivation. It's not the default setting, right? It's not like they're thinking about us every night. Like, man, I can't wait to send Mary Sue a referral because she did a deal with me 5 months ago. That's probably not how it's going to go. It's going to happen that way because Mary Sue's staying in touch by email, with videos, with blog posts, with staying in touch by friending on Facebook and Instagram and having maybe a Facebook group or any kind of methods by which you're staying in touch. A newsletter that adds value. It's not a sales pitch. It actually gives helpful advice. So it gives what they want, which is valuable information and advice, and it removes what they don't want, which is the sales pitch, right? They don't want a sales pitch from Mary Sue. They want value. They want advice. They want counsel. They want great ideas, maybe even some recipes, as cheesy as that might seem. Like if Mary Sue's passionate about cuisine, then she can share her passion with some amazing recipes. And they're going to feel there's an authentic outpouring of value because that's what Mary Sue's about beyond just doing mortgages. She's an expert at mortgages. She's also an expert at making some amazing meals in the kitchen. And even if she's not an expert of it, just providing value that stays in touch. Now, another thing that's huge, guys, that maybe you may have not thought of before that is a game changer when it comes to asking referrals is to ask for permission to do a brainstorm session. So I kid you not, this can absolutely double, triple, quadruple, even quintuple your referrals almost overnight. All you do is you target the clients who give you a 5-star review on Google. So you start with asking for reviews, and then you follow up with them, thank them for the review, say, that was amazing, thank you so much. That makes me glow from the inside out. I feel so blessed, so privileged to have the opportunity to serve you when it comes to your mortgage needs. If I could press the repeat button on you, I'd press it all day long and Sundays. You've been such a delight to work with. Obviously, you're going to do that in your own way. But you get the idea. You're going to just edify them and appreciate them for the opportunity to serve them and for the review. And then here's the kicker. Here's the part most people miss. You ask for permission to do a brainstorm session. So here's how that would sound. So as I'm sure you probably got the impression, we do most of our business through referrals so we can focus on serving our clients instead of getting distracted and diluted, trying to beat the bushes for business. So with that in mind, if you'd be so kind as to take a brief moment just to do a little brainstorm session to see who in your world we might be able to help, it would be awesome to be able to see if we might be able to activate your mental Rolodex to see who in your world we could help. Would you be open to that? Now, that wasn't the perfect rendition of my permission to do the brainstorm session. I've done better in the past, but since we're doing this podcast, we'll let that be as it is. To give you just an example of how it might sound, you're asking for permission to do a brainstorm session to see who in the world you can help, and you're seeing if you could activate their mental Rolodex to see who in the world you might be able to serve when it comes to mortgage advice. Now, when they say yes to that, you go through the different categories. Who do you know who's thinking about, who's renting, who should be owning, who has a great job, and they just, for whatever reason, they're still making their landlord rich? Who's a real estate investor who's always looking for access to more capital? Who wants to build their portfolio? Who do you know who's thinking about buying? Who do you know who's thinking about selling? Who do you know who's going through a divorce and needs someone in their corner who really cares, an expert, to help them navigate some difficult choices, especially when it comes to their home and their mortgage? Who do you know who's elderly, who is house rich and cash poor, who might need some expert advice from someone who really cares to help them navigate how to retire with peace of mind? Who comes to mind? Notice you go through the different categories, chances are you're going to activate their mental Rolodex and you're going to get referrals. You do this with 10 people, I kid you not, you'll come away with at least 3 or more hot for what you got referrals just because you asked and you asked in an elegant way that was heart-centered, that was connected to purpose, not to serve yourself, but to serve others. And you're doing it with your raving fans, your brand ambassadors. These are your evangelists. These are the ones who are singing your praises from the rooftops on Google. There is no better source of referrals from this, guys. This is the best source of referrals ever, your happy clients. So I think we've given you some things to think about when it comes to asking for referrals, mining the gold from your database, having a unique value proposition to attract top producing realtors. But there's still more in store, friends. There's still more. Penny's got a divine download that you definitely want to be writing down that is an absolute game changer when it comes to supercharging this whole process. Penny, what do you got for strategy 3?
This one is my absolute favorite. And it's one that I've often been told that I'm fairly good at, which is
Absolutely. You live and breathe this one.
it's be the connector, right? And what I mean by that is chances are you've got borrowers and your borrowers need your help. They need a mortgage. But chances are your borrowers probably need a realtor too, because they want to buy a house. And then they probably need a financial planner. They're planning on doing some wealth building. And they probably need a CPA for some tax planning and so on and so forth. So you can be the connector for your borrowers. And in turn, what ends up happening is you become the ultimate networker. Because what happens is you're now going to be an absolute rock star to your borrowers first and foremost, but you're going to become a rock star to your referral partners as well, because now you're able to connect everyone and serve everyone. So first, you're able to give a mortgage to your borrower, but then you're also able to connect them with the realtor that they need to be connected with, connect them to the financial planner they need to be connected with, connect them to the CPA, connect them to the attorney, connect them to the life insurance person, and so on and so forth. But then what ends up happening is you will find that through making all of these connections, by the way, you're referring your borrower to the financial planner. You're referring to the real estate agent. And what ends up happening is now you're giving out referrals. You become extremely valuable in this situation, right? Because of that network that you've created. And so what ends up happening is you've now created this beautiful referral loop, this beautiful referral connection. And so what ends up happening is now you've got people that have received referrals from you, and that is guaranteed to send referrals back your way as well. So it's just a beautiful thing when you're able to make those connections. You end up with this beautiful, beautiful network of connected people that are all thinking alike and all want the same thing, which is happy borrowers. And at the end of the day, it results in more referrals for you, because if you're sending someone a borrower, chances are they're going to send someone to you too.
Yeah, this is so powerful. And what I love about it is it's got a holistic approach where you're looking out for the best interest of your clients and what services and professionals they need in their corner to win, what other products and services and professionals they need in their corner before, during, and after they work with you to serve the best outcome for your client, to give them the best experience, and just to be, like you say, that connector that saves them time and hassle. They don't have to go through the lemons. They go straight to, the beautiful, juicy, sweet fruit that is exactly what they're looking for right from the get-go. They don't have to go through the duds. They can go straight to the studs, right? So you get to be that connector to bypass the hassle and the trouble and struggle of trying to figure out all that stuff themselves. You can connect them. You become that hub. But not only that, it allows you to have an avenue to reciprocate and even be a leader with your referral partners, where you're actually bringing business to them. You're the hub, you're the conduit from which business flows from you into their business, not the other way around. And isn't that so refreshing compared to the average, mortgage parasite and loan leech that's just leeching loans from these partners? Well, that's the beauty of this strategy. And you could even systematize it. There's that word again, system, right? Where you can systematize even your application process, where instead of just focusing on mortgage information, which is a necessity, of course, you can ask questions like, do you need a real estate agent, a financial planner, an accountant? So you can ask some of these categories as just check boxes. Do you need a referral for these different professionals, and have that be part of your system in your application process? So now you're getting referrals just through the paperwork that clients fill in. And it might just take them an extra 10 seconds to check some boxes, but bada bing, bada boom, now you've got a system to feed leads to your partners right from the get-go. Same thing with the annual mortgage review conversation. I'm hoping you guys are talking to your clients once a year, right? Because you guys are staying in touch and staying connected. You have a CRM that reminds you to reach out to your clients based on their mortgage anniversary date. All y'all are doing that, right? Of course you are. Chances are, I'm just being facetious, chances are most of you guys are not. But if you were to do that and book a conversation once a year called an annual mortgage review, which, by the way, is another amazing opportunity to get more repeat and referral business, not just for yourself, but also for your partners. You can ask them about their situation. How's things at your home? How's the family? How's the space? Are you needing more space? What about your debt load? Do you have any high interest debt? You explore the different situations because obviously you need to know about that to make sure that you're helping them manage their finances and their mortgage at the highest level and the most efficient level possible. You're one of their strategic partners to help them do that. But then you can ask, hey, by the way, do you have a financial planner? Would you like a referral? Do you have a great accountant? Would you like a referral? Do you have a tax strategist? Would you like a referral? So you can now ask those sorts of questions at your annual mortgage review. And you do this once a year based on their mortgage anniversary date. So don't think, oh, just because rates are relatively high, I'm off the hook. I don't need to do annual mortgage reviews anymore. No, it's still a great opportunity to see if it might make sense to do an equity takeout because they're up to their eyeballs in high interest debt. Believe it or not, those are still happening even with rates relatively high because some people are just in hot water financially. Maybe they need to do a renovation. They can pull equity out to pay for that. Maybe their kids going to university. They don't want them to have a financial noose around their neck with student loan debt. So they'll pull equity out for that. There's lots of different reasons why people pull equity out. And there's lots of reasons to do this annual mortgage review, including asking for different categories of professionals they might need a recommendation or a referral for. Are you guys seeing the picture here? So many different ways. The game is all about being connected, cultivating the relationship, building trust, and being that hub, being that expert, that true professional that's in their corner to serve them for the long haul. You're not dropping them like a hot potato and making your 3 to 5K commission on the one transaction. You're not thinking transactionally. You're thinking relationally. Anything else you want to stack on that, Penny, before we sign off today?
No, you know what? I think that honestly, it comes down to building the relationships. And you're right. You're absolutely right. Don't think about the transaction. Think about the long-term relationship. Because if you build good, solid referral partner relationships, that's the gold. That's really where it is, right? It really comes down to that. And it's huge, right? And anything that you can do to add value to that relationship is going to go a long way, right? So your partners are looking to grow their business as much as you're looking to grow your business. And so anything you can do to help add value there, help them grow their business by doing the things that we talked about here, by having that unique value proposition that you talked about in strategy 1, that's huge. It goes such a long way, right? Doing those activities are the things that are going to set you apart so that you can build that solid, strong relationship with your referral partner. And then you end up with a referral partner for life instead of just the one and done deal here and there, right? So those are the things that are really going to matter. And that's what's going to keep that relationship strong moving forward.
Absolutely. And as you got the impression, as Penny was painting that picture of these referral partners for life, these relationships that are a gushing wellspring of repeat and referral business for life, you get a sense that this is really the holy grail in this business, right? It's like, how do you create freedom money where you're not constantly in the churn and burn of sifting through a bunch of crappy leads that don't convert, being the desk monkey who's just on the phone all day, sifting through a mountain of gravel just to find a few gold nuggets, churning through referral relationships, churning through transactions where it's just a one and done, drop them like a hot potato after you make your commission. Like, that is not the way to make freedom money. That's the way to be a guinea pig on a guinea pig wheel. You want to make freedom money, you got to think long term. And I've made so many egregious mistakes being so myopic and short-sighted, just focusing on the hunt, beating the bushes for business and neglecting to cultivate, because it takes time to cultivate. Like, when you plant the seeds in the spring, you don't have harvest in the spring, do you? You have harvest in the fall. So you have to have a long-term approach. And because of my immaturity, my short-sightedness, and my folly, frankly, I just didn't understand how many hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars I was leaving on the table, and lost sleep and stress that I was causing unwittingly to myself because I wasn't thinking long term. I was just being too short term and myopic in my viewpoint and my focus. So I would just say avoid those landmines, friends. Think long term, but that doesn't mean that this has to take 5 years to reap a harvest. Like you can double, triple, quadruple your income in the next 3 to 6 months just by getting a handful of top producing realtor partners on board who send you 1, 2, 3 deals a month. So it's not like this is some slow cooker method and all the other methods are like the microwave. No, this is the microwave and the slow cooker. It actually gives the opportunity for both. This is about working smart versus just working hard. So if you're watching this, you're listening to this, and you're like, Doran, this sounds great. Penny, this was amazing. I'm getting more clarity on what I'm missing to win the referral game. And I agree, when you win the referral game, you win the mortgage game. But I'm missing the link when it comes to the how-to in terms of how to do all this. I get it in theory, I get it in basic concept, but the execution is where I'm struggling. And that's where I feel like I'm spinning my wheels, is actually taking the idea and executing it, because there's so many different areas where I'm just stuck and I just don't know how it should be this, should it be that? Should I go left? Should I go right? Should I do it this way or that way? What's the proper wording? What's the proper method? What's the proper way to automate it? So if that's you, you're a 100% commission residential mortgage professional, you earn 70 basis points or higher, and you want to add at least $100,000 or more to your annual income, and you know that the shortest path to the cash is just getting a small stable of, say, 5 to 12 top producing realtors sending you all their business all the time. And you know that you don't want to be groveling and butt kissing and chasing and throwing your dignity out the window with the prospecting, cold calling hell that you've done in the past that just was getting you to bang your head against the wall, doing it the hard way to no avail. If that's you and you're wanting to learn the secret sauce on how to work smarter, not harder, and unlock the vault to be able to double, triple, quadruple, even quintuple your income in the next 3 to 6 months by just having a small stable of top producing realtors who send you all their business all the time without inflicting yourself with the hell of cold calling. If that's you, I invite you to take advantage of a complimentary breakthrough call where you get on the phone with myself or one of my consultants. We lift up the hood on your business. We look at what's working, what's not working, where you're at now, where you want to be. And if we can help you create a breakthrough in your business, we'll show you what that looks like with our proven system. And if not, frankly, we'll be the very first person to advise you to pass on our services, recommend something else or someone else. But either way, our goal for you on that call is you leave that call with massive value, massive clarity. Chances are we're going to have some fun, and you're going to get the clarity you need to understand why your method's not working and what it's going to take to get it to work. So if that seems meaningful and worthwhile to you, and it certainly should, go ahead and book a call at mortgagemarketingcoach.com/chat. Again, that's mortgagemarketingcoach.com/chat. Book a call. Let's have a chat. Let's see what we can do to serve you to next level results and a next level breakthrough in your business. If you got value from this and you think we're worthy of a 5-star review, please do give us a review. It helps us reach more people. So wherever you're getting this podcast, please do review us on that platform so we can reach more mortgage professionals and serve them to next level breakthrough results, as we perhaps have done for some degree for you. Even though, of course, this is a free podcast, we're doing our best to give you real value that's worth something to you. So subscribe, review, share. And of course, if you're seeing us on social media, we'd love your comments and your feedback. So if indeed you believe we're worthy of a 5-star review, please do. We would love to reach more awesome mortgage pros just like you. That's all we got for today, friends. This is the Art of Mortgage Marketing podcast. The one and only Penny Wrightley and Doran Aldana as the contributors for this podcast. It's been a delight to serve you. Penny, anything else that I should say before I blunder the exit of this podcast any further?
He just made my day.
It's like nothing to being human, right? Tripping on my lips, but we're doing this thing and we're bringing our humanity.
It's perfect.
We're bringing our humanity real and raw, just the way you guys like it. Because we know you'd rather have leaders that are real versus leaders who are always right. So hopefully you guys got a taste of that today. Just remember, the more you grow, the more your income grows. This is the personal development course with a compensation plan attached. Don't just go to the next level, grow to that next level. And if we can do that in any way to serve you to that next level breakthrough, book a call at mortgagemarketingcoach.com/chat. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks for being with us.